Alright, time for a pop quiz. Name the last time your vote changed anything fundamental about how power operates in your country. Not talking about which puppet sits in the big chair. I mean real, structural change. The kind that threatens the Fortune 500 or the defense contractors or the pharmaceutical giants. Taking a while? That's because the answer doesn't exist. Welcome to Democracy Theater, where your participation is mandatory, your choices are curated, and the outcome was decided in a boardroom before you ever saw a ballot. You think you're selecting leaders? Cute. You're selecting middle management for a system that runs on autopilot. Every few years, the political parties roll out the circus, the pageantry, the breathless CNN and Fox coverage. The carefully choreographed debates where millionaires funded by billionaires pretend to care about your grocery bill. Politicians put on their show, you play your part by picking Team Red or Team Blue, and then regardless of who wins, Goldman Sachs keeps writing financial policy, Raytheon keeps building bombs, and Google keeps reading your emails. You ever notice how no matter who gets elected, the NSA keeps expanding, the Pentagon budget keeps growing, Amazon keeps paying zero taxes? That's not a bug in democracy, that's the feature. The two-party system gives you a choice between Coke and Pepsi while Warren Buffett owns stock in both. You're not choosing the menu. You're picking from options that Citigroup and BlackRock pre-approved. Options that all lead to the same place. Continued corporate governance with a democratic paint job. Look at your candidates. Really look at them. Where'd their money come from? Check the FEC filings. It's public record. Chase Bank, Comcast, Blue Cross Blue Shield, the same dozen mega donors recycling through PACs and super PACs. By the time candidates reach your ballot, the Chamber of Commerce and the Business Roundtable have already vetted them. Wall Street has run the numbers. The military contractors have checked their voting history. The primaries? That's where the Democratic and Republican national committees thin the herd. Anyone with actual transformative ideas gets labeled unelectable by MSNBC or Fox News, both owned by massive corporations with very specific interests. The media will tell you that candidate is too radical, too inexperienced, too something. What Comcast means is too dangerous to their merger plans. What Sinclair Media means is too threatening to their broadcast monopoly. Then party leadership parades out their pre-selected options. Career politicians who've spent decades proving to K Street lobbying firms that they won't rock the boat. Corporate darlings who know to take calls from Jamie Dimon and Jeff Bezos. These candidates might disagree on abortion or pronouns. That's the theater part. But watch how they vote on bank deregulation, corporate tax cuts, surveillance expansion. Suddenly, all that heated disagreement vanishes. Funny how that works. The debates are scripted performances on networks owned by AT&T and Viacom. 90-second sound bites designed for Twitter clips, not substantial discussion. Candidates argue about symptoms while carefully avoiding the disease. They'll spend an hour debating insurance premiums, but never mention that United Health Group and Anthem wrote the legislation. They'll fight about immigration quotas but never discuss how the same corporations demanding closed borders also profit from undocumented labor. CNN, Fox, MSNBC. These aren't news organizations reporting on democracy. These are profit-driven corporations producing democracy as content. Comcast doesn't own MSNBC to inform you. Disney doesn't own ABC to educate you. These mega corporations decide what's important, manufacture the scandals, determine what's presidential. Your opinions feel self-generated, but you're choosing from a menu that Rupert Murdoch and Brian Roberts already edited. Red Team says they'll protect you from socialism while taking donations from defense contractors who love government contracts. Blue Team says they'll protect you from fascism while taking donations from the same tech monopolies surveilling you. Both teams cash checks from Pfizer, ExxonMobil, and JP Morgan Chase. It's professional wrestling with worse acting and better funding. The real decisions happen in rooms you'll never enter. The Federal Reserve conference rooms, the Council on Foreign Relations dinners, the World Economic Forum sessions. By the time anything reaches Congress, the American Legislative Exchange Council has already written the bill, the Heritage Foundation or Center for American Progress has already blessed it, and the outcome is predetermined. Your local elections? Those might matter, until you realize your city council is dominated by real estate developers and Chamber of Commerce members who've already decided to approve that new Amazon warehouse. Your congressional representative spends 30 hours a week fundraising and maybe 5 hours reading bills written by lobbyists. Your senator is worth $8 million and thinks a gallon of milk costs $20. Even the voting process itself is theater. Electronic machines made by private companies like Dominion and ES&S that refuse to open their source code for audit. Voter roll purges that mysteriously target zip codes that vote wrong. Districts drawn by algorithms to ensure incumbent protection. The Republican Secretary of State closes polling places in Democratic neighborhoods. The Democratic Elections Board requires IDs that Republican voters coincidentally already have. Both parties gerrymander when they can. And when someone does slip through, when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or Bernie Sanders somehow navigates the obstacle course, watch how fast MSNBC and Fox News suddenly agree on something. Watch how quickly corporate Democrats and Republicans form a united front. The establishment doesn't have parties, it has interests. Political action committees turned corruption into a line item. Citizens United made bribery a protected form of speech. A Chevron executive can't hand a senator a briefcase of cash, but Chevron's PAC can donate unlimited money to a super PAC that runs ads for that senator. It's money laundering with Supreme Court approval. But here's the sick genius. The system convinced you this is the best humanity can do, that choosing between two investment banker-approved candidates is freedom, that your vote matters even as Princeton studies show policy outcomes have zero correlation with public opinion, but strong correlation with corporate preferences. Polls consistently show Americans want Medicare for all, legal cannabis, Citizens United overturned, wars ended, billionaires taxed. Watch how much of that happens regardless of who wins. Democrats will throw you a rainbow flag while maintaining mass incarceration. Republicans will throw you a tax cut that expires for you, but not for corporations. Both will authorize the next military budget without reading it. Politicians turned governance into entertainment, so you'll stop treating it like power. Cable news wants you watching the show, not following the money. The RNC and DNC want you angry at the other party's voters, not at the donors funding both parties. Political consultants want you exhausted by the performance, not energized to build alternatives. The voting machine isn't broken. It's working perfectly for Lockheed Martin, Anthem, Google, Exxon, and every other corporation that gets what it wants regardless of election outcomes. The system gives you just enough participation to feel involved. Just enough choice to feel free, just enough hope to keep playing. But the House always wins, because the House owns both candidates, the media covering them, and the companies that profit either way. You know what terrifies them? People realizing the theater is a distraction. Workers organizing outside the AFL-CIO's approved channels. Communities building mutual aid networks that don't need government approval. People who stop begging representatives and start making direct demands. The political establishment fears voters becoming non-participants in their show. Wall Street fears workers becoming owners. Amazon fears consumers becoming producers. The surveillance state fears citizens becoming ungovernable. So the show goes on. Every 2, 4, 6 years, the parties dust off the democracy costume and pretend your input matters. CNN and Fox pretend there's real choice. Politicians pretend things might change this time. Everyone pretends so hard that sometimes even the actors believe their own performance. But you're starting to see through it. You're noticing that the fierce debates never touch corporate power, that the passionate divisions never threaten quarterly earnings, that the heated campaigns never challenge the fundamental arrangement where you generate value, corporations extract it, and democracy is just the customer service department for capitalism. Your vote is a suggestion box in a company you'll never own, and the people reading those suggestions, they work for the shareholders, not you. Think about that next time someone tells you voting is your civic duty. Duty to whom exactly?